pathways to elevation, transformation, awareness, liberation, and self-love. I'm your host, More Blessings Chikomborero Chaiva. Petals is more than a podcast. It is a movement of reflection and renewal, a safe space where we explore the universal journey of healing, of personal transformation and self-acceptance. A space where we develop courage to become who we were always meant to be. And thank you for being here today. So in the last 2 episodes, we spoke much about the weight of words, the words that are spoken over us, even positive affirmations that we never get to receive, how they can affect us when we are young, and how that can also affect how we show up into the world as adults. And particularly on last week's episode, I talked a little bit about self-sabotage. This is where we want to start off this week. We want to step into something deeper today. That part of our story that quietly shapes the choices that we make. Self-sabotage. And I'm not talking about the dramatic kind, the obvious type, the loud and destructive type of self-sabotage, no. I'm talking about the subtle, the silent, everyday patterns. The ones that look like self-preservation, the ones that look like protection, but actually keep us from becoming who we are meant to be and who we want to be. So let's talk about that, guys. First of all, what is self-sabotage? What is that? So for me, self-sabotage is not a personality flaw, no. It is not laziness, no. It is not weakness, no. What I've learned about self-sabotage is that it is a learned survival strategy. A way that your mind tries to convince you, tries to keep you safe based off on old beliefs and old experiences. It's kind of an inner conflict that one experiences between a part of you that wants to grow, a part of you that wants to step out into the world, a part of you that wants to express themselves, and then the other part of you that is afraid of what growth might demand, the other part of you that is afraid of failure, the other part of you that is afraid of stepping out of your comfort zone. It's more like when your heart says, I want this, I want to try this, but the fear, that still voice that whispers, please don't, and you listen to that voice. So without knowing it, we begin to work against ourselves, not because we don't want better, not because we don't want to be better, not because we don't want to have higher experiences, but because better feels unfamiliar and we are afraid to step out of what has now become a comfort zone. Now, you ask me, where does self-sabotage come from? Where does this self-sabotage thing comes from? Well, I think from my own experiences, and I think guys, you're also welcome to share in your thoughts and your ideas on how you have experienced self-sabotage or how you've come to understand the concept of self-sabotage. But from my lived experiences, it has an origin story. It doesn't just come from nowhere. It really begins in adulthood, it stems from some kind of trauma that we experienced while we were growing up. Let's try to connect this to what we have been unpacking since the first episode. So self-sabotage comes from the words that we've heard, the comparisons, the criticism, being overlooked, being told we are too much or we are not enough. And now those words, they become our belief system, they shape our belief system. We begin to see ourselves as not worthy, and we begin to tell ourselves, I don't deserve good things, or I will be rejected if I try, or someone else can do it better than me. These beliefs, they later show up as hesitation, as procrastination, as silence, or as settling. Sometimes also, again, it comes from the words that we didn't hear, and we spoke much about this in the previous episodes. So, no, I'm proud of you. No, you did very well, well done. Or no, I see you, well done. So the absence of affirmation teaches us that perhaps my achievements don't matter, or something like my voice is not important, or maybe don't expect to be celebrated. So we kind of begin to lower our expectations, and we shrink our dreams, and we reject good things before they reject us. It comes from the mirror that we grew up with. Self-sabotage comes from the mirror that we grew up with. When you spend years comparing yourself, your body, your personality, or your achievements, and begin to doubt your own reflection, and then self-sabotage becomes the safe choice, because staying small feels familiar, and familiarity feels like safety. Now, we want to talk about how self-sabotage actually shows up, how it manifests in our lives. So in last week's episode, if you recall, I shared a story about how I missed an opportunity to grow within my career as a result of fear, and how I self-sabotaged by not applying for that role, which I was well placed to actually land the position. But that is one example. So basically we can call it sabotaging opportunities, because we fear success as much as we fear failure. But there are many other different ways how self-sabotage can manifest itself, and how self-sabotage can show up. So it doesn't always look like distraction, as I mentioned, but it looks like self-preservation, it looks like self-protection, and so things like maybe procrastination, delaying the things that would move you forward in life, perhaps because you are afraid of what the outcome might look like. You're afraid that you would fail at that task, you'd fail at that endeavor, so you keep putting it off. And have you ever procrastinated, struggled with procrastination to the point that one day you wake up after 4 or 5 years, perhaps you wanted to study towards a degree program, or study towards a certificate or whatever, but you kept on procrastinating. And the thing with procrastination is, whether you choose to do that thing or not, either way, the time is gonna pass. So if you put your mind to say, I want to do something good, maybe you have set for yourself a goal, right? Like this example of studying towards a particular program. whether you decide to study or not, that time is still gonna pass. And so one day you reflect and you see that maybe you wasted 3, 4, 5 years of your life when you could have been studying towards that degree program, and you've lost that time, and time lost can never be gained. I think we all know that. So procrastination really is a thief of time, and it's one form that we clearly self-sabotage our goals, that we clearly self-sabotage ourselves as individuals. Another way that procrastination might look like is ending healthy relationships because we are afraid that they are too good, or ending healthy relationships because we are afraid that perhaps this person is how can I say it? You feel that this person is not being themselves, or maybe they are being extra nice because they are courting me, and then once I give in to their proposal or whatever, at some point they'll begin to show another side of them which is not good. But sometimes people come to us from a genuine place, and they actually have a real interest in you as an individual. So, but because of that inherent fear, of not being enough, that feeling of I'm not worthy, you can sabotage very good relationships because they feel unfamiliar, or you think that people are acting or people are pretending, and yet sometimes people are actually coming from a good place. Another way of self-sabotaging is actually the opposite. So when you end the healthy relationship, or you avoid healthy relationships, what you tend to do then is to choose partners who actually confirm your insecurities. So I think I mentioned it last week again, and that we're going to talk much about it. The law of attraction that says we attract what we are in life. So as much as you might want a good relationship, but as long as you still have a feelings of I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, you will push away those good relationships, and you will attract partners that actually confirm those feelings of you are not good enough, who make you feel that you're not good enough, who make you feel that you have to earn love, who make you feel that you have to overextend yourself in order to be seen. So it's that dynamic there with self-sabotage. So you actually tend to attract people who make you feel worse about yourself because you have not had those honest reflections, you have not had those honest conversations with yourself. Choosing partners who confirm your insecurities. This is a very strong point, and we will discuss this in future episodes. Another way is overthinking every step until you take none at all. I know people who overprocess, who are always thinking the worst, people who are always expecting the worst out of life. So whatever they want to do, they begin to they always start from the worst case scenario, and they never actually move to the best case scenario. Like, what if the opposite actually happens? They always like to look at life from the negative perspective. They overprocess everything in a negative light. So when you tend to overprocess and when you tend to overthink things, it actually hinders you from taking any step towards whatever goal you have set for yourself, towards accomplishing whatever thing you might have set up for yourself. So overthinking and overprocessing every step until you actually don't take any step at all. It can show up as shrinking in rooms where you should be standing tall. Some people, we tend to almost appear as if we don't have an opinion about things because we are afraid of how people are going to react to what we speak. And you don't have that confidence to speak out and to let your voice be heard in the room. But what you forget is that the fact that you are in that room, it means that your place is there. It means that you've earned a seat in that room, and therefore your voice is valid. Therefore, whatever you have to contribute in that meeting, in that room, is valid. But because we are afraid of failure, we are afraid of being judged, you shrink back, you go quiet, and you zip your mouth because you're afraid to let your opinion be heard. Rejecting compliments because you don't believe them. You know, when you give a positive remark, a positive compliment, when you compliment someone, you know, someone can be like, oh, really? Or like, that feeling that people are lying to me, that, it stems from that feeling of maybe I'm invisible. Nobody sees me. And so when somebody comes in with a compliment about your appearance, with a compliment about the way you look, you tend to think that people are lying, and you actually reject those compliments. You think they've got, they've got hidden agendas and they're looking for something. All that is different forms of how we self-sabotage, because you always want to see yourself in a negative sense. And I spoke about sabotaging opportunities, so I'm not going to talk about that. But I want to hear also from you guys how you have experienced self-sabotage. Anything interesting that you want to share with us, please just share through the comment section. Just share in your comments, and also be happy to hear from you guys what you think about this self-sabotage. So, as I mentioned, these patterns, they feel protective, but in essence, they're slowly dismantling our confidence and our identity. And now, let's just talk briefly about how self-sabotage can actually breed self-hate. So this is actually even more deeper. So every time you betray yourself, something inside of you breaks a little bit. The way I see self-sabotage is that it leads to shame, number one. And then that shame, it fuels negative self-talk, number two. And that negative self-talk reinforces old beliefs, number three. And number four, the old beliefs, they lead more to self-sabotage, and then it becomes a vicious cycle. And that cycle continues. And eventually you begin to ask yourself this question: why do I always hurt myself? Or why do people always hurt me? If that question goes unanswered, or if you answer it wrongly, it grows into self-hate. If that question goes unanswered for a long time, it will breed self-hate. But I want you to hear this clearly, guys. Self-sabotage is not proof that you're broken. No, it is proof that you're hurting, and that you need to confront that pain. That hurt, that pain can be healed. So self-sabotage thrives in the dark, guys. That moment, but the moment when you name it, when you begin to question it, when you try and trace it back to its root and try to replace it with the truth, it begins to lose its power, and it begins to lose its hold over you. So awareness is the first step. we will discuss this in future episodes. Healing happens slowly, it happens quietly and with intention, seed by seed and choice by choice. Before I close this session, guys, I want you to reflect. Pause and reflect with me. Number 1, where do I notice myself pulling back from opportunities that I actually want? Number 2, very important, what early words or early experiences might still be influencing my behavior today? These are questions for honest self-reflection. Number 3, what am I afraid will happen if I succeed? And lastly, which self-sabotaging pattern feels most familiar to me? And what is that behavior trying to protect me from? Lastly, what is one small way I can choose myself today? So in closing, guys, I think I'm just going to share 3 takeaways from this episode of Petals. The first takeaway for you is that self-sabotage is not failure, it is protection, right? So it's not laziness, it's not weakness, it is a learned survival response that is rooted in old wounds, old words, and old beliefs. Number 2, our patterns, they often grow from the stories that were told when we were young and the ones that were actually never told. So comparisons, criticism, silence, and unrealistic praise, they all plant seeds that shape how we see ourselves. Number 3, awareness is the first step to breaking the cycle of self-sabotage. The moment you begin to name your pattern, trace its root, and question its power, you begin to reclaim yourself. So healing starts when you realize you don't have to shrink, you don't have to sabotage, and you don't have to settle anymore. Thank you for listening to Petals. Remember, your journey matters, your voice is powerful, and your petals are still unfolding. If this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who may be quietly fighting their own battles. Until next time, keep blooming boldly and beautifully. Bye.